as I mentioned, there's a 3-year prescription or limitation period. And, you have an influx of these cases right now. Many of their injuries took place in 2021, let's say. So you're looking at probably, mid-2024. For most people, that's going to be the cutoff. And whether or not they're compensated or not is a secondary issue. The first issue is you got to get the claim in, because if you don't get it in on time, whether your injuries are related or not, you can't be paid under this program. And so that's going to be the first challenge. After that, of course, the challenge will be to make sure that we're able to show that the injuries, are related to the vaccine, and then, would be the amount of the compensation. Those are the type of challenges I think we'll see in this case.
Have you or someone you know experienced side effect after getting the COVID-19 vaccine? It's often a real challenge to connect those side effects to the vaccine. What's more, to be eligible for compensation, you absolutely need a doctor to support your claim. The compensation program in Canada is still quite new, kicking off on June 1st, 2021, in response to the extensive COVID-19 vaccine campaign. It was designed to assist Canadians who faced severe adverse reaction after receiving an approved COVID-19 vaccine. The numbers are intriguing. Over $6.6 billion have been paid out. This sounds an important amount of money, but listen, here is the catch. Out of 1,859 claims, only 103 were approved, not even 6% of the claimant. If you reside in Quebec, things take a different turn. You cannot apply to the federal program. Instead, you turn to the Quebec program established since 1988. It's a bit complex because it covers a range of vaccines. In total, since the creation of the program, 441 claims were submitted. Almost half of the submitted claims were made during the compulsory COVID-19 vaccine. But wait, on this, only 22 have been reviewed and just 3 people received compensation. 3 out of 201. Are you surprised? But here is some uplifting news. Jeff Orenstein, the founder of the Consumer Law Group, has stepped in to offer his assistance. His law firm has been a part of the landscape for quite some time, with over 150 reported cases across 2 provinces. Jeff Orenstein has significantly influenced Canadian jurisprudence. The Consumer Law Group has got your back if you receive a Health Canada approved vaccine after December 8, 2020, and now face significant long-lasting issues. Their goal is to assist citizens throughout the entire claim and appeal process, striving for a fair compensation. Now, let's hear from Mr. Jeff Orenstein. Can you explain us, because now you say that some people have already filled their form, they come to you afterwards because they don't have any answer. So right now you're not focusing on the lawsuit, but you're focusing on something else with them, no?
I'm hoping we don't have a lawsuit. I'm hoping that, in fact, everybody gets compensated under the terms of the program. I mentioned that there's court oversight if clients are not happy with what the committee comes back with. But what we've seen, there are some people that filled out their own forms and sent them in. Sometimes there could be answers that the injury is not permanent. And there'll perhaps be a discussion about what permanent means. In one of the cases, the person had an injury for a year and said, well, that's not permanent. Well, it's now been another year, and now we're at 2 years, and they haven't gotten any better. So does that make it permanent? We believe yes. So we would represent that person and say, all right, at this point, it is serious and permanent, which is the criteria. And so we would represent them and file a new claim then, if that's the case. Or other people, it's taking a long time for them to get an answer. Sometimes they ask for more information, more and more information. Sometimes they contact them, they don't get answers. And so they would then engage us, and we'll be sending out letters saying, you got to give an answer. I mean, whether it's yes or no, we'll find out. But you got to give an answer. And if we're not satisfied, there's an appeal process for that as well. So we've been engaged in those cases too. And some of them are coming to us for the first time. They haven't filled anything out, and we're helping them by finding them a doctor who will fill out their form, who will agree to be part of the 3-member committee, the 3-doctor committee, because sometimes you can't find that on your own. And so that's one of the things we're providing as well. So we've seen both of those situations.
Did you get surprised on anything, or were you shocked on something that you learned from hearing different cases?
No, I mean, one of the phenomenons that we did see is that sometimes we'd receive a call where the person said, I believe that I've had an injury caused by the COVID vaccine, but my doctor won't fill out the form for me. And we've seen that a few times. And so we do realize there's obviously some reluctance from some doctors to fill out the form for the compensation injury form that has to be filled out in order to qualify under the program. So that's something we can also help out with, because we do have experts that are working with us here who will, of course, they won't sign anything. They're going to look at their file and they're going to make their own determination. Do we think that there is, a valid reason to say that this injury was caused by the vaccine? And if our doctor, our expert medical doctor comes to that conclusion, we would represent them, and we would file the claim on their behalf.
It was difficult for you to find experts who wanted to work with you?
It took some time. It took some time to find those experts, both in Quebec and outside, because it's 2 different programs. We were successful in finding some, and those have been the ones that have been reviewing our clients' files.
How many people right now you have in Quebec who have signed up for having some help from you?
So Quebec, I think we're at about 35 retainers have been signed, but more comes in every day. I mean, we've sent them out to many people, and we have to wait for them to collect their documentation, to fill out all the forms and send it in. So there's more arriving every day. But we've signed retainers. Total in Canada would probably be about 60 right now. And we're submitting them on a going-on basis, but we expect to submit most of those unless our expert determines that there's no real causal connection there. But we expect more. We definitely expect more, because there's more out there and more coming in all the time. So some of the injuries that we've seen, myocarditis, pulmonary embolisms, some death, skin reactions, zona, all things like patches of problems with the skin, nerve injuries, loss of vision, loss of hearing. Fatigue, we've seen that as well. There was also stroke and joint pain. So those are the types of things that we've seen, that we've had it looked at, that we believe were related, and so we're going to be representing those people.
And when the people approach you, how do you feel them? Are they in panic? Are they desperate? Or how they interact?
If they haven't been able to find a doctor to fill out the form, there could be some desperation there, because they've sort of ran out of what they can do with their resources, which is why they're coming to us, because we have other resources for them. And some of the injuries are, the fatigue one, for example, where the person can't get out of bed. It's very difficult to be able to even take this on yourself, and it's going to be very helpful for them to actually have, a lawyer and a law firm behind them that can help out, because it requires energy. And some people, their injury is the fact that they have a loss of energy. So those are the type of things that I think we can do something good to help them out.
How the people can apply for contacting you, or for this specific reason?
So it's on our website. It's clg.org. There's a list of cases, and many of them are obviously class actions. But when you go down the list, you'll also find the Vaccine Injury Compensation Program. If you click on that, there's a form that you fill out. You put in all your contact information, and we would reach out to them. That's how you would become part of one of our clients and how we would represent you.
Did you face any challenge since you started it?
Well, the first challenge is going to be getting the claims in on time. As I mentioned, there's a 3-year prescription or limitation period, and you have an influx of these cases right now. Many of their injuries took place in 2021, let's say. So you're looking at probably mid 2024. For most people, that's going to be the cutoff. And whether or not they're compensated or not is a secondary issue. The first issue is you got to get the claim in, because if you don't get it in on time, whether your injuries are related or not, you can't be paid under this program. And so that's going to be the first challenge. After that, of course, the challenge will be to make sure that we're able to show that the injuries are related to the vaccine, and then would be the amount of the compensation. Those are the type of challenges I think we'll see in this case.
If the compensation never come for most of them, what is the next step?
If either no compensation comes because there's determined by the 3-member committee that they say it's not, they don't believe it to be related to the vaccine, that can be challenged. There's the appeal procedure, and it's the same thing if it's determined that they are covered by the program, but the amounts our client believes is too low, and we'll look at it. If we agree, then as well we would challenge that. We would challenge that too. And there is an appeal process, both for the Canadian side and the Quebec side, and we would have to use that process to make sure our clients receive what we think is just compensation.
At Rebel News, we want to make sure that those COVID shots need to be removed from the market. If you approve that, please go and sign our petition at nomoreshot.ca. Please sign it, share it, and make a difference, because it's with all of you that we will make a difference and remove those products from the market.